Hey folks, I'm Chris and I'm your Commander Mechanic. The Warhammer 40K precons are coming soon, and there are a ton of really great new cards printed within. So I'm going to break down the best new cards for inside the 99 in the set, so you can know which singles you want to pick up. And if you do want to pick up any singles or even pre-order the precons themselves, head over to my friends at Harry Tarantula, linked in the description. First-time visitors can use my code CMDR5 for 5% off your whole purchase, or CMDR Mechanic to support the channel. But be sure to get your orders in soon. These are in hot demand. As always, we start off our list with honorable and dishonorable mentions. The dishonorable mention is that these cards aren't going to be reprinted anywhere. The flavor is so niche and specific that you literally can't reprint them anywhere else, and likely never will. They won't reprint creatures with the Astartes, Tyrannid, or Necron type, so basically, if you want any of these cards, you better hope you can get the precons. That practice really doesn't sit well with me. I'm all for people having access to all cards. So the fact that Ultramarines Honor Guard, Locust Heavy Destroyer, or Biophagus won't ever be printed again and are in limited supply is a feel bad. Unlike Secret Layers, this isn't just a cosmetic thing. It's an exclusivity matter with artificial scarcity to drive up desire. Honorable mention, on the other hand, goes to the return of some old keywords. The benefit of doing exclusive Commander releases like this is that we can revisit Miracle, or Cascade, or Unearth again, which could be of interest to people that have decks built around those mechanics. Even if you're going for just 1 to 2 cards from the set, it's really got something for everyone. Another honorable mention to the crazy good vehicles in the set. Necron Monolith, Knight Paladin, Ghost Arc, and more. If you've got a vehicle deck, there are some really sweet pickups from these precons. They can't all fit in the list though, so a broad shout out to them here. Now my top 5 cards are going to either be versatile cards or build around cards, keep that in mind. These are going to be cards that either fit in a wide variety of decks, or are cornerstones of new or existing decks. Starting off with number 5, Calidus Assassin. Only in the number 5 spot because it's multicolored, this is a fantastic clone. It has flash, copies anything, and can act as removal too. 6 mana may be a lot to ask, but it's incredible utility on a body. Think of it as a Phantasmal Image and a Ravenous Chupacabra stapled together. It takes out the highest threat on the board and gives you a copy of it. Almost a gain control effect, like a control magic, but you own it. No one can take it away from you. This can steal the best static effect on the battlefield, the best enter the battlefield effect, or even swoop in as a surprise for attack or combat effects, since it can come down at the end of an opponent's turn, ready for you to untap and go to town with. Personally, it means a lot to me. It's an even mana value clone for my Too Many Gyrudas deck, and we can always use more of those. Flipping into this can get fantastic utility from an opponent, or spin another Gyruda wheel. And since the triggered destroy effect is up to one other creature with the same name, you can choose not to do it to your own creature. If you're casting a 6 mana clone, you want it to be as good as this. At number 4 is Nexos. Unassuming, this 2 mana 2/2 immediately doubles how much mana your basic lands produce to cast X mana spells. It's such a simple effect, but it's so versatile. Sure, since it's only basic lands, any deck that ventures into 3 or 4 colors is going to see diminished value from it, but since he comes down early, untapping with him can immediately make you massive Hydras or double your X mana burn spells. This can help you cast an Animus Awakening for X equals 4 on turn 3, or a Stonecoil Serpent for 6 on turn 3. That's a huge beating. And the later in the game you go, the more he can jack up a Comet Storm, or a Jaya's Immolating Inferno to blast everyone for lethal twice as quickly as they expect. Between Olive Green's awesome ramp for basics and taking into mind that you'll need to build a deck with the majority of your lands being basics, Nexos can earn a spot in any X-heavy deck out there. Without a doubt, any legend with X in its mana cost like Gyrus, Waker of Corpses, is going to want this guy in the 99, and for good reason. Or in the 99 of a Zaxara the Exemplary deck for that matter. There's a lot of versatile use for a dork that can basically double the mana generation of your basic lands, provided you've built with X spells in mind. Our number 3 pick is Vexilus Praetor. A 4-mana 3/4 with Flash and Vigilance with the very relevant warrior creature type is pretty good on its own. But when it says commanders you control have protection from everything, well then it's just a simple build your own Progenitus. Protection from everything means it takes no damage, it can't be targeted, it can't be blocked. Your commander is just untouchable. We've seen other creatures that give your commanders cool effects like Guardian Augmenter or Bloodsworn Steward, but that's just a bonus to power and toughness and hexproof or haste. This is protection from everything. That's just an absolutely wild effect to protect your commander with, and Flash means you can gotcha an opponent trying to remove your commander or in response to it being blocked. But keep in mind that everything includes you as well. You'll no longer be able to Voltron up your commander. You'll no longer be able to target him with spells either. It's a downside, but it may be worth being able to consistently get in for combat damage, or not have to worry about targeted effects. I can see this fitting in just about any deck that includes white and relies on its commander, from Elish Norn decks through to Atraxa decks and everything in between. It's a strong, versatile add to just about everything that cares about its commander. I hope you've got a board wipe handy. And at number 2 we have a twofer. It's Biotransference and Out of the Tombs. They did some pretty wild stuff with black colored cards in these precons, largely because black appears across 3 of the 4 of them, and one, the Necrons, is mono black. Here we get Biotransference, an enchantment that's a personal mini Mica Scintillatus, turning all your creatures and creature spells into artifacts. In addition, when you cast an artifact spell, which is now also all your creature spells, in addition to your regular artifact spells, you lose a life and you make a 2/2 creature. There are absolutely some loops you can do here, involving sacrificing your new tokens for mana and casting or recasting creature spells from your graveyard. Think Gravecrawler loops, but now with bonus bodies. Losing 1 life is going to prevent you from doing this infinitely, unless you have an aristocrat effect like a Blood Artist. Then you go to town. You've just created a game-winning loop. Keep your eyes on this one, you can do some wild stuff with it. Out of the Tombs is another crazy black enchantment that enables self-mill, reanimates creatures eventually, and prevents you from losing to an empty library. There are so many black decks that rely on self-mill and reanimation, like Sir Conrad or Marin of Clan Neltoth, and not only is Out of Time a synergy piece or an enabler for them, but it can be redundancy for them. If you're playing any combo that draws your whole library, of which there are literal dozens, like my Sheoldred Lich combo licked up top, then this is a way to not lose the game and do something with your graveyard. A sack outlet and a creature, and you could potentially live forever, just like the Necrons. These two are going to help enable or create a bunch of brand new builds and combos, so keep your eyes open for them. I think that they're just amazing. And finally, my number 1 pick for the set is Canoptic Scarab Swarm. But Chris, it's a 4-mana 1/1 flyer. Yes, a 4-mana 1/1 flyer, an artifact creature that doubles as graveyard removal, basically a Bojuka Bog on ETB, and can make you a boatload of other 1/1 flying insects. Being colorless graveyard removal on its own means it should earn a spot in just about every deck, but the fact that it enters the battlefield means that it gets better and better with blink effects or reanimation effects. If you can cycle through each opponent, you can be using this little guy to make dozens of flying insect tokens. And it's a great efficient way to make flyers in colors like green that don't often get access to these effects, or a great go-wide spell in white decks looking to capitalize on token creatures. If you've got an opponent who's milling themselves or discarding cards, you can bet they're going to be giving you 4 to 5 more tokens on ETB. Even someone sacrificing a Commander Sphere or Mind Stone gets you a couple bugs, and that's not even taking fetch lands into account. This guy's going to get a spot in just about any deck I'm putting together. It's versatile graveyard removal for all colors and makes a ton of bodies. What's not to love? Just hands down the most versatile new card in the set. So that's my list. What do you think? Do you have any favorite cards from the set? Anything you're going to put in the 99? You can check out my video for new commanders from the set, linked up top, and tell me if you're building anything new too. And be sure to subscribe as well. There are going to be a ton of new brews coming soon from Warhammer 40K. Also, be sure to check out my sponsor Moxfield. Moxfield is the best deck building platform in the world, and I'll be using it to make all the sweet new brews from Warhammer 40K. The cards are already available for you to start building with. Head on over to my profile, linked below, and follow me while you're there. Be sure to check out these other videos from the channel too. Liking, sharing, and subscribing really helps me out. And as always folks, good luck and have fun.